Hello and welcome. This is the price of keeping a mobile phone store open. More than a week has passed since the father and son were picked up in Satankulam in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu and tortured in police custody and subsequently died, all because they kept a mobile phone store open beyond the permitted hours. Now, there was a FIR or a first information report filed against them, which seems to suggest that there was criminal intimidation and verbal abuse involved against the police. Apart from that, there seems to be little evidence of what happened or what was the misdemeanor that these two people or gentlemen did for which they got the kind of treatment that they did. The question we are asking, however, is to do with what really happens in terms of police procedure when it comes to cases like this. What are my rights as a citizen, and to what point can I enforce or hold police accountable for the actions that they commit at that point or later? To discuss this, I'm joined by Sudha Ramalingam, an advocate and human rights activist based out of Chennai. Sudha, thank you very much for joining us. So, Sudha, from your understanding of this case, or for that matter, other cases, what exactly happened?
See, as far as this case is concerned, on the relevant day, the FIR says this, that the policemen on duty were going for their COVID rounds. By about 9:15 p.m., the policeman seems to have seen a mobile store open, and the two deceased people, Jeyaraj and Bennix, were there sitting in the shop, and there were some other people also in the shop vicinity. And the police says in the FIR, I'm just translating it to you, that they politely told them to disperse in view of the COVID situation and the lockdown. So what happens is, while others went away, the two persons, the father and son duo, they refused and they fell on the ground. And they rolled around. They fell on the ground and rolled and refused to move. When the police requested them again, they used abusive words and threatened to murder the two policemen who were there. So the FIR says the policeman had picked them up and brought them to the station. The FIR so very clearly also says, in the process of their rolling, they had also suffered some injuries, which they say is umakayam, they say, that is which were not visible. But they had some injuries on them. So the fact remains that in the first FIR itself, the first information report itself, it very clearly states the policeman picked them up from the mobile shop at by about 9:15, brings them to the police station only because they refused to cooperate with them and threatened to kill them and used abusive words. So they also did not allow them to do their duty, is one of the things that they speak about. This is the FIR, and this has been reported by the head constable. Another head constable who was with him has also signed as a witness in the FIR, and it has been registered by this sub-inspector of police.
Right, and subsequently they were, they went in front of a district magistrate, or they did not go in front of a district magistrate. So how does, they were taken to a police station and remanded there. How does that happen?
Yeah, they were taken to the police station, and then they were inquired very nicely, beaten up very well, everything. They suffered all the injuries, which of course would not be recorded. They are taken to the local, to the doctor, government hospital. The doctor first seems to have refused to give a certificate, but still it seems they had, later on they had got it. They were also taken to the magistrate, and the magistrate, instead of seeing them, asking them questions about when and where they were secured and what happened, seemed to have routinely remanded them. So this is what has happened without actually following his responsibility of looking at these two accused who are brought before them and reading their FIR. If he had read the FIR itself, he would have found out that there was nothing at all worthy of a remand. You're just keeping a mobile shop open or using some derogatory words I don't think is worth a remand. And our Supreme Court and our Madras High Court also has given orders in their judgments stating that for any offense or offences which involve less than 7 years of punishment, you don't need a remand at all. So neither the policeman nor the magistrate or the doctors did their job properly.
Right. So, I mean, before we come to the custodial beating or the alleged custodial beating, you're saying that the first contravention that happened of law was the fact that they were remanded when there was no need for remand.
Yes.
Is that right? Or was there any other contravention before that?
Absolutely. There was no need for remand at all. Why do you remand people? You remand only if they say that they'll escape the process of law, that they will tamper with witnesses, that they may harm themselves or harm other persons. Nothing like that. Why should they be remanded?
Right. So let me take a step back. Were the police right in picking them up for, at that point, what seemed like the guilt of the act of keeping their shop open and taking them to the police station? Is that something that they were justified?
It was unnecessary. It was really unnecessary. You are unnecessarily pulling them to a police station when you just ask them to wind up their show and close the shop and go. Definitely it would have happened. But according to eyewitnesses, this did not happen in the shop at all. The eyewitnesses say that they were picked up by about 7 o'clock or before that, by about 7 or 7:15, not at 9:15 as has been alleged in the FIR.
Right. So they should not have been taken to the police station. Secondly, when they were taken to a police station, they were put into remand when they should not have been remanded. So these are the two clear contraventions, as I understand, Sudha.
Yes, absolutely. And also the treatment meted out to them during the time when they were in the police station.
Right. No, I'll come to that in a moment. So at this point, let's say if someone has been taken to a police station and remanded when they should not be, what is the recourse to a normal citizen? I mean, what do I tell a policeman, or what can I show a policeman that this is what the law says and this is why you should not be, or you have no right to keep me in a police station or even take me to a police station?
See, the policeman will never be in a mood to hear what you say. They are only there to silence us and secure us. So to secure and silence, they are not going to be listening to what you are saying. Sure. What the person will have to do is immediately call up their neighbor, call up their advocate, or call some NGO, get the local assistance of people around, so that if there are going to be other people who are going to be with them, police will see these people as not voiceless or faceless people. So we always keep advocating as human rights activists, don't go to police station alone. Take somebody, inform immediately, inform everyone. So you can immediately, there will be a record of the fact that you have been taken out by the police. So that's one thing that you will have to immediately do. And when produced before the magistrate, he has got to be vocal enough to state, please record this. I was taken by police at this time. I was treated like this. These were the people who took me, and this is what had happened to me.
Right. Okay. Let's come to what happened inside the jail. Now, there is allegation of beating, and there's allegation of severe torture. Now, what can the police do to you? Assuming, let's say, the first two parts were more legitimate. There was legitimacy in their being brought to the police station. There is legitimacy in their being remanded. What happens after that? Are they allowed to touch you? Can they do what they did? I mean, forget the torture, but can they even touch you? Can they slap you around, for instance?
There is no provision in law which permit anyone to slap or touch anyone else without the permission of the other person. I can't even touch you. I can't even do anything to another person, to the next person, without the consent of the concerned person. We have a right to life. Right to life includes right to live with dignity, right to live in safety. So my safety and security will have to be protected by the police. Police is not to transgress this. However heinous my crime might be, the force that they can use is only to stop any force that I may be using. So if I was beating them up, to stop me, they can hold me. But not more than that. They can't beat me as such. The use of force could only be to the extent that there is a force which comes to them attacking them in order to self-guard them, that is as a right to self-defense. Nothing more than that. They do not have a power to beat up anyone, though they are given a lathi or even a pistol.
Right. So, now in this case, that did happen, and they did leave the jail premises or the police station, the next day, and were taken to hospital. Now, at this point, could something have been done in, it's only as I look at it in retrospect, because the father and son died, that it became such a big case. Now, if they had not and survived, maybe this could have been buried, or maybe it could not have made the headlines that it did subsequently. So what could one do if tomorrow, suppose this happens to someone, has been, treated badly, tortured in a police station overnight, and then let go?
This is happening day in and day out in almost all police stations throughout India. I'm definite about it. See, any person who is taken into custody is not treated with respect. No person is treated with respect by the police. They use force to also investigate. And use of light force is something which people at large, the citizens at large, have actually accepted as legitimate. In Tamil, we even have a proverb which says that only spanking gets proper results. So this is how it goes. So they even say your brothers won't help you as much as the spanking itself. So the legitimizing of this corporal punishment, even in schools, is something which we have got to look about, and it is definitely a crime. No one has an authority to beat up anyone, to use harsh words, to use unparliamentary words. They have got to treat the accused with dignity, and they've got to give them all necessary safety measures as possible. You cannot ill-treat them, you cannot kill them, you cannot injure them.
Right. So is there anything else from a legal point of view that, apart from these three instances that we spoke of, that where that was in contravention, or that's something where there's something that has been clearly illegally either done or acted upon?
See, the entire FIR itself is a false FIR, because and also remanding them under these provisions of the FIR was also unnecessary. The Supreme Court very clearly says, the High Court very clearly says, for offences which are below 7 and below 7 years of punishment, you don't need to remand. So there was no necessity for them to be remanded. At the most, the police could have given a summons and asked them to come to the station the next day morning and answer to their queries. That is what they'll have to do. They cannot pull these people into the police station at an odd hour and do all these things. So it is definitely a human right violation, a violation which should not be actually excused at all.
Right. So the last question. So, this case is obviously, like I said, it's now become headlines. It's brought nationwide attention to not just Tuticorin, but to the larger problem of police brutality. What are your broad prescriptions on how we as citizens, or anyone who has the misfortune of facing the police in this manner, what can they do, or should they be doing?
See, what we'll have to, all of us, understand is what is happening to the neighbor could happen to me at any point of time. Whether it's use of force or use of bad words on the roads, in the streets, in your house or outside or in the police station, we'll have to ensure that they are recorded, their complaints be given. These days, you have the videos all over. The mobiles have videos. Record that in the video if you want. Even otherwise, immediately prefer complaints. Complaints could be preferred even online through emails itself. Ensure that you be the voice for others. Don't let a person to go away all alone to a police station. If the police is coming to your place, ensure that at least 10 people come and stand there. Police will be a little silent. They do not want to do all this before everybody. So we'll have to see that, tell the policeman that he has no right to beat you up. He has no right to use abusive words. And also media should understand to appreciate those who are doing good work also. A large number of policemen who are doing good work, let's also appreciate them. It's not that everyone is beating up, it's not that everyone is using harsh words. So we should also insist on FIRs being registered against these erring policemen and see that action is taken against them through their own domestic front in the department, as well as through the human rights commissions and also human rights court. We have the district human rights courts, and also through the other the ordinary penal laws.
Sudha Ramalingam, advocate and human rights activist from Chennai, thank you very much for joining us and walking us through what our rights as citizens should be when faced with police and police brutality. Thank you very much.